Good morning, Dr. Angie here, Doctor of Ayurvedic Medicine. You can reach me at rightpathayurveda.com. And now I'm going to teach you one of my wonderful soups. Okay, this soup is made with my homemade chicken broth. Okay, right here, that was made last night. Olive oil. This is a homemade spice called Scarborough Fare. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme with a little bit of turmeric. We have some natural sea salt here. We've got a zucchini, one piece of zucchini, one squash, some purple cabbage. We have a little bit of leftover ingredients from when I was making kimchi earlier. One onion, carrot, celery, and one piece of elephant garlic. Now, already in here on medium high, I had started some olive oil, about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And then I put the onion in there because the onion takes a little bit longer to cook. Okay, so let me put that on high. All right, so that's been going for about 10 minutes. And now I'm gonna add the elephant garlic. That's a nice piece here, I've already peeled it. And we have a nice little simmer going. And again, I don't like to just throw all the vegetables in at one time. I like to start with the vegetable that takes the longest to cook, and that's usually the onion. Make it nice and soft. This way, it doesn't matter what constitution you are in Ayurvedic medicine, you'll be able to handle it. And what I mean by handle it is you won't get any acid reflux or any of that from an onion. Even if you don't think you can handle an onion, if it's cooked well enough, it can have really wonderful medicinal properties and not bother you at the same time. Okay. That's going nice and easy there. Now we're going to add the carrot. I've already cut the carrot and I peeled it as well. These are organic. 2 carrots. Again, 4 tablespoons of olive oil. 1 onion. 3 pieces of celery chopped. I have about 1/3 of a purple cabbage, a small purple cabbage that is. And we're gonna let that go for a while. Okay, and again, the onion was already going for 10-15 minutes. I'm going to put a good tablespoon of the spice in. So we have about 8 different vegetables going. Now, if you didn't want to use chicken broth and you wanted to make this vegan, you could use vegetable broth. Or you could literally just cook all the vegetables and slowly add water and your favorite spice, what have you. You could always add miso and add some probiotics that way and make it really healthy for you. And those would all be vegan. And you can always use different types of bone broth. This one is chicken. I'm going to add the little leftover cabbage from the kimchi. So it's got a little bit of the Korean red pepper in here, nice and yummy. Soup looks absolutely beautiful. And I had about 1/2 of a cup of the broth in there already. But most of this is the juice from the vegetables. And I'm going to be adding now some of this wonderful, glorious chicken broth. And I'm just going to cover the veggies just a little bit. And I'm going to let that cook down. So again, what we have in here a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. We sauteed the onion, and we allowed that to cook for about 10 to 15 minutes before adding about a cup of broth. Then I added the carrot, 2 carrots, 3 pieces of celery, the leftover cabbage from the kimchi, purple cabbage, 1 piece of elephant garlic, 1 little zucchini, and 1 yellow squash. I'm going to add a little bit more chicken broth. So we started off with about 1.5 quarts. Now, you know, maybe 20 years ago, I would make like enough soup for 3 or 4 days, but we don't really want to do that anymore, okay? So you want to make just enough soup with fresh vegetables. You know, it has all that wonderful prana in there. You know, it's beautiful, it's live and very nourishing. But by tomorrow, it's going to be already stale and dead, all right? So you want to eat as much of it, share as much of it as you can tonight, and maybe have some in the morning, and usually that's about it, okay? You don't want to have days worth. So when I see on Facebook many people do this, I think it's called batch preparing meals or something like that, I try to discourage that. I don't judge or criticize, but in our Ayurvedic medicine, we like our food to be fresh, very nourishing, and the same thing with the chicken broth. Somebody once in one of my workshops, it's so cute, she said, she was whispering to one of the other girls, and I said, what are you saying? And she goes, no, nothing, and I made her tell me. And she asked if the chicken broth was, which one was it from a carton? And I was like, oh, cardinal rule, cardinal sin, never around me, you know, it's always going to be fresh. So again, I'm not criticizing anybody else, but I teach and preach fresh, and that's what we're going to always have in these workshops. Okay, so pretty much that's it. This is going to go for another 15 minutes, and in the meantime, I'm going to get a little workout in, and it will be ready, okay? So many blessings your way. Namaste, and we'll see you again.